Hello everyone, and welcome to Edible Canopy Food Forest for Beginners Zone 9B. I'm Sandra, and today I want to show you how what we call propagate baby banana, or we call them pups sometimes, from the mother plant. I had posted this in another video that I did on bananas that I was going to show you that. So here I am today. It's actually a nice kind of overcast day as we get into the end of October. It's bearable to be out here amongst the humidity, and the heat is so much lighter today, so it makes it a lot easier to be out here than it does in July and August. But you know what, we have to be out here in July and August too, so it is what it is. So I'm going to show you how I do this, and hopefully it'll be helpful to you and you'll like it. So okay guys, so this is the banana pup that I want to remove, and I like using this kind of shovel to do that. It's not too big because this guy is not really big, and I'm not ready to put him in the ground just because we do get cooler nights, so I'm going to kind of watch him in a pot. So once I separate him, I'm putting him in a pot for now. Okay, so I'm just going to kind of show you, hopefully you can see what I'm doing here. So you want to get behind him because you want to separate the roots from here. And the roots do grow this way. A few will grow down, but you want to get, when you pull this pup off, you want to have enough roots, right, so that you can plant him and he'll grow and survive. So I just kind of position this in here like this to separate that. You kind of will hear like a crunch. And then I'll kind of go around. I'm trying to separate some of the other roots, but give him enough roots. So it's, it's just patience trying to separate them. You can certainly separate them when they're a little bit smaller or even a little bit bigger. It's really up to you. I prefer to do them at this size because the roots aren't as thick for me to be able to get this in here. So when you try to pull it up, you can see that it's still attached. So you want to go around. You want to make sure it comes out easily. You don't want to force it because you don't want to hurt the other plant, or banana, I should say, plant that you're pulling it from. There we go. Okay. So now you can see I have some roots. It's not the long roots that I really wanted, but there's 3 on here that should do well. So that's why I want to put it in a pot just to monitor it. If I could have gotten better roots, I'd been super happy. So it's kind of a hit or miss when you do this because you don't know if you're going to get a lot of roots or not a lot of roots. So that's why it's real important to try to just take your time. So I'll put this in a pot, and you can see where I cut it from the main root here. And now what you want to do is you don't want to leave a hole where you took this out. You want to make sure you fill it in really well with soil. Don't fill it in with mulch. You want to make sure that it's filled in nicely. So I just used cow manure. So let me grab that. And then I'm going to actually just take this and fill it in there. Really nice. And you want to pack it down when you do it, because you don't want any air in the roots. So make sure that you kind of pack it in. So I'm packing it down. I'm adding extra. And then what I may do is add some manure, chicken manure later, just to give it that more nutrients for the plant. So that's it for the mama plant. Just making sure, again, it's packed in really nice. You don't want to have any air. You want to fill that hole in really well. All right, everyone, so I brought the banana plant up, and so you can see he's here. And I have a pot that I like to have a little bit larger because I want to be able to let him expand and not have to disrupt him for a while. So make sure you kind of measure how deep you want your plant to actually sit in your pot. So I'm gonna do it like this. I don't know if you can see it. We're actually starting to get some sprinkle, which, hey, I'm fine as long as it's not lightning and thundering. I'll stay out here with a little rain. It's always nice to have that moisture. It really is. I don't have to water as much today, even in October. You still want to make sure that you water your plants in the fall. So don't forget to do that. Even though you feel like it's not as hot, they're going to be okay. And yes, they are dormant, but when you have new plants, that's the ones I'm talking about. You need to keep watering them throughout the whole year. So you can see I'm just kind of adding all this manure in here, and I'm holding him because I want to position him in the pot the way I like it. I like to keep them in the center. That way it encourages the roots, hopefully, to spread out evenly. They're not hitting the side of the pot and having to go a different direction. So you just fill your pot with soil. You can add manure at this time. You can add a little bit of fertilizer if you want. Whatever you want. I'm just getting him in the pot right now. And then I'll place him with my other potted starter plants so that I have a better eye on him. And when I say that, if you have them out in the yard like we do, you know, walk in the yard every day, you have to pay particular attention to your newer ones, which is fine. But sometimes for me, it's easier just to have them in a pot since I'm monitoring them anyways, and they're all right there in front of my face. And then if we have a cold, you know, night before I'm ready to put him in the ground, which probably won't put him in the ground until February, I can bring them in, and that way I don't have to risk them getting damaged or worse, dying. And that's the one thing that as a gardener, it just breaks my heart when I lose a plant. I mean, you can't keep 100% of them when they're starters. That's what we all wish for, at least I do. If I start them, you know, I'm like, okay, if I'm starting them, I want them to live, because if they don't, then I feel like I failed them. So it's just a quirky gardener thing, or maybe it's just a quirky me thing. So anyways, so this is what I did. You should be able to see this here. So I don't have to fill it all the way to the top, but I don't want it not to be close to the top. And then since it's starting to rain, I'm gonna go ahead and leave him right here for now, so he'll get a good rain. I don't have to necessarily throw the hose on him right now. We'll see how much this rain continues and how much we get. So that's it. That's how you propagate, separate your bananas. I have a couple more that have smaller ones. I'll probably pull out for sure before it starts to get chillier at night, and put them in pots as well. That way I have an insurance that they're going to continue to grow and not get damaged by the cold. So I hope that was helpful to you today. And if you have any comments or questions, please just put them in the below, and I'd be happy to answer them. And I appreciate you viewing my videos. If you like them, hit subscribe and like. I really appreciate it. Thanks so much. Have a wonderful day.